What's up, Scrappy Peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and I have a Grab 5 challenge for you today. If you don't know what a Grab 5 challenge is, it's where I grab 5 things from my stash and I have to use them in a layout or a pocket page or a project of some kind. Today I'm picking glitter thickers. Now, glitter thickers and I are not very good friends, except if they're gold. I'm a little bit discriminative against glitter thickers. Gold, you're in, we're best friends, but the others I struggle with using. I've got a stencil, I think it's from Flutter by Designs, some roller stamps, some washi, a noisy baby who's meant to be playing quietly, and something different. I have some pom-pom trim. Now, I am not a big one for ribbon on my layouts. I don't have a stash of ribbon. I don't usually use it. But I decided to try and use a little bit of this pom-pom trim, which isn't going to focus. Archie is obsessed with my microphone. No, it's not a toy. I know it's big and fluffy, but it's not a toy. I'm sorry, Archie. This is the photo I'm scrapping today, and oh my goodness, isn't it adorable? So this is Archie's got a Superman onesie on under that shirt, and we put an old pair of like nerd glasses from our dress up collection from all of the costume parties we've had over the years. I had a nerd party for my 23rd birthday, I think. It was vintage nerd, so everyone had to come up dressed as a vintage nerd. It was great fun. Anyway, tangent. I'm doing a bit of a distressed background here, and I chose these colours because of the blanket in the background, and that's a good way to, if you're stuck with mixed media and you're stuck with what colours to use for your background, or even just normally if you're stuck for what colour paper to pick as your background, have a look at what colour is in your background of your photo. By choosing the colour that's in the background, you will make the actual subject matter pop a little bit more. So if you had a picture of someone in a park, if you use green as the background, the person would kind of pop out of the page more. However, if you used whatever colour they were wearing, say they were wearing, I don't know, orange, the person would kind of blend into the page a little bit more, if that makes sense. So next up, I have a fail, and I like to keep these bits in to show that scrapbooking's not perfect and it's all trial and error. But the first fail is that there's no paint left in that paint container. I don't know what I was thinking. So then I try for a new pot of white paint, and the white, of course, doesn't show up on the paper very well, on the blue. So I decide to change my colour. I do it a little bit, lift it up. You can kind of see it on the darker bit there, but on that turquoisey piece, there's no chance that you're going to be able to see it at all. So I decide, I think, I put the white away. Oh, beans, I forgot to turn off your toys. Sorry for the noise of Archie's toys in the background. I decide to go with I think it's London Blue. Do I decide to go for London Blue? This is the container that I keep all of my Dilutions paints in. It's very, very handy, especially if you're like traveling somewhere, if you want to take them with you. It's easy just to chuck in with the rest of your luggage. I take them to retreats quite a lot because I use my paints for everything, and this colour worked out much better. So I am glad that I had the fail, because then I found a solution that was even better, I guess. So I'm just doing kind of higgledy-piggledy. The reason why I picked this stencil is, I don't know, to tell you the truth, I don't actually know. I was where have I gone? Oh, I've gone to get my Use It Up journal, because I wanted to use this stencil while it was still painty. But the reason why I use this stencil is I kind of thought that it looked, I think it's a computer circuit, or a train, no, I don't know, computer circuit, I think. But I thought it kind of looked like above ground streets from up in the air. And whenever I think of Superman, I think of flying through the air, and it made sense in my head. And that's all that matters sometimes. I grabbed a page from a spare art journal that I had and just did some stenciling while the stencil was still dirty. And then I dried it with my heat gun, and now I'm back and it's time to get my washi on. Now, this washi it's all dried up, and so I have to stick it on with glue whenever I want to use it. Now, if you can hear fart noises in the background, Archie's blowing raspberries. I promise you, it's just Archie with raspberries. But I decided to do some washi strips, and this is a great way to actually use your washi tapes, because washi is one of those things where it's very difficult to use up the entire roll. I think in my life I've used up 2 rolls of washi tape. I'm hoping by end of next year I can maybe use up another 2. We'll see how we go. So I'm just adding a few various ones. I honestly, I don't know where these are from. I usually just pick them up either in my local scrapbook shop or there was an online website, I think it's called Washi Tape Australia maybe, that I picked up a few others. It's very easy to grab some washi tape. It seems to be all the rage, especially with the planner peeps at the moment. So while I'm sticking all of these washi bits and pieces on, I should let you know that I also have another video coming out today on my second channel, Let's Get Inkie, which if you haven't subscribed, head over there and have a little looky. It's more art, mixed media kind of things, planners, art journaling, travelers notebooks, journaling, that type of thing. And I have a video coming out, but it won't be out until 11 p.m. my time, Australian Eastern. Are we daylight time now? I think it's AEDT. It won't be out until 11 p.m. because it coincides with my Citrus Twist blog post. So stay tuned for that if you are an inklet over on Let's Get Inkie. So now I want to do some tissue papering, as I always like to do, and I was tossing up between whether doing a skinny little white border or leaving it just blue. And in the end, I actually decided just to go with the blue. I thought with the white, it kind of broke up the background a little bit more, and I really wanted the background to look very smooth and kind of not monochromatic, because obviously it's not monochromatic, but I just felt the white broke it up too much. Usually I would love to do a white border in between tissue paper, but this time I didn't. So I'm just cutting it out with my gold scissors. I get a lot of questions about these scissors. I think they're called Nate Burkus, maybe Burgess, Burkus, Nate Matt. It's some American designer man. I think it's fashion. I think they're actually supposed to be fabric scissors, but I use them for my scrapbooking because A, they're pretty, and B, they're really sharp. So I'm just adding some craft foam to my picture here, and I wanted to add the craft foam just to give it a little bit more extra fun, because he is meant to be a little Superman dude. I kind of made it look, well, I thought in my head that it kind of didn't look as flat, because Superman, you think of flying, capes flapping in the breeze, so I thought that a little bit of craft foam would help in that situation. Now, I do have my ATG, but I've got to re-tape it, and I think I don't actually quite know where my ATG refills are. They are somewhere in a very special spot, somewhere very special. I haven't finished unpacking my craft room yet. I've still got, well, the wardrobe is full of boxes, but I've still got bits and pieces here, there and everywhere. I'm getting there slowly, but yeah, I still haven't got everything. Now, I was tempted to do the title off to the left, as I usually do, but I decided to use these. They're the Thickers, like template guides. Alice, a beautiful inklet, decided to send them to me, which was lovely of her, and I haven't used them yet. I honestly just unpacked them. I pretty much received them and they got packed up straight away. So I decided to go for a straight one for our little, and then you'll see, I think I stuff it up when I take it off. I was deciding, do I go on the side, do I go in the middle, and I did decide for the middle, because I thought it was fun. Now, these guides are a bit tricky with foam letters. I found that they worked a lot better with the chipboard letters, so that's a bit of a tip if you're using them. And so I've used the glitter thickers, but I thought I would kind of contrast it with these gold ones that another subscriber sent me, and they're beautiful, but they're so flashy, and I haven't used, every time I go to use them I think, oh, this page isn't important enough, or they kind of remind me of like Broadway topography, and so I thought they'd be perfect for Superman. So I stick them onto the thickers template, do a bit of a curve, and then I do actually pause the camera and go back and glue each letter individually, because the chipboard thickers, they're just, I don't know what glue they use on them, but it's not fabulous glue, and so I did go back and glue those on. And I cut that bit out because you don't need to see me glue on every single little letter. I usually don't glue on the foam ones because they're quite skinny, but they're also usually a lot stickier than the chipboard ones. Now, I had slightly forgotten about the pom-pom trim, to tell you the truth, and I kind of wish that I had put it on first because the title is a bit squished. I've managed to move it down a little bit. There's no way I'd be able to move the Superman part. But I just wanted to do a little red trim underneath because I just thought it was the best place to put it, and once it's done, it really is like a feature of the layout. It kind of gives him a little shelf to stand on. I really enjoy layouts that have a bit of a shelf for the photo or for the embellishments, whether that's with paper layering, and I kind of thought this was the same way. So you may see I braved the pom-pom trim. You may see it appear in the future. We'll see how we go. I have it in a few colours actually. I bought it to do another secret project that I'm hoping to do January sometime. But of course I haven't had a chance to film that with moving the house and things. So it's just been sitting, staring at me, just laughing at me. So now I'm going to use my roller stamps, and I basically am just going to do some messy stamping. Now the great thing about messy stamping is it doesn't have to look real good. You can kind of stuff it up, which I do with the last stamp that I use, which is typical. It's always the last one, isn't it? So you get through the whole thing, it's looking great, and then the last one, bam, you either smudge it or stamp it wrong, or it goes in the wrong spot, or you get an outline of the ink. It just, every time. So I'm just stamping a few like cute phrases, and I'm trying to mix up the fonts that I'm using. So I've got some typewriter font, some cursive, some just a bold script as well. So I'm just trying to do all different fonts, and then I did decide it needed a doodly border just to kind of rein everything in. We've gone very bright there. I feel like the doodly border, as I've said before, if you've got bits that are kind of sprinkled on, which I feel like the Superman is kind of sprinkled on, it kind of looks like it's going to slip off the page. I find that doodly border helps contain everything and make it all a bit calmer. This layout is honestly one of my favourite ones that I've made for a long time. It's one of my favourite photos that I've scrapped for a long time. Archie's staring at me while I'm doing this voiceover. Yes, it's a photo of you because you're so beautiful. Please don't touch my hard drive while I'm doing this voiceover. But it is one of my favourite layouts that I've done for a while, and I'm really, really happy with it. I love the pop of the red pom-pom, I think is my favourite, next to the title. But then I love the washi strips. I just really, really like it. So please let me know if you enjoyed it as well by giving this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. I make all sorts of scrappy and DIY embellishment videos and all sorts of things. And if you'd like to see more, you can always check me out on my Patreon, where the link is in the description below. I'll see you all next time. Bye!